Hello, Rajiv. My question is, so now that you've written, I think, about 6 books now, or
Five,
sorry. Your books, you are approaching individual or a group of topics on each books. What's your end state now? Let's say we mobilize people, we awake them to this. In addition to kind of people defending our culture in the discourse level, in addition to that, from a practical life standpoint or day-to-day impact standpoint, do you see an end state of how things will be?
Well, I see that the knowledge starts in the discourse, and then it permeates to media, it permeates to school textbooks, it flows into government policy, and then if you don't correct it and counter it early enough, it becomes the well-known things. It becomes like well-known fact, and that is what we are suffering from. So until I started this, I felt people were looking at the symptoms of the disease rather than cause of the disease.
Okay.
So they would find one episode here. 20 years ago, if this JNU had happened, no one would have linked it with breaking India forces. They would have said one little guy has done something wrong, Now everybody is jumping in. In fact, this Breaking India book, they've done another print run after JNU, whole print run, because so many people understand this. People are saying that this book said, actually 5 years ago it said what they are now understanding is the case, but 10 years before this book I was talking about it. I just wasn't writing books, but I have a lot of talks on this exact same thing. So this whole clash of civilizations happening in India between the left wing is a foreign import, please understand that. Marxism is not an Indian ideology, feminism is not an Indian ideology, all these subaltern studies are imported from Western. The whole Indian left is a Western import. That's why they're so aligned with the West. You have to keep exposing that to them, that their origins and their gurus and their siddhant are not based on Indian soil. They just imported stuff, the whole thing. So my feeling is that as each book does the job of creating more awareness, this battle for Sanskrit is a continuation of Breaking India in a sense, because it is taking this Breaking India and going deeper into the Sanskrit and the Sanskriti foundation which are being broken. It is like breaking Sanskriti. If you break the Sanskriti, then you are also breaking the nation. You see, there's a relationship there. If you break the underlying ideology, then you are going to break the country. So each one of these books is my attempt to build awareness. So more people are understanding these things, talking about it, fighting back, and we are creating a very large, large voice now, because wherever I've gone, first of all, I never invited myself to any place, they invited me, like this group invited me. So in India, I had to turn down for every one invite I accepted. There were 4 or 5 other invites I had to turn down. That was not the case 5 years ago. And the audiences are getting very large. They're getting very vocal. They want to put out petitions. They want to really start doing things. So I think once there's enough voice, government takes notice of this too. Government now, good news. This is, I don't know, it's not official or official, but there is a movement that the Government of India will start its own annual Indology conference for the first time. Because right now Indology conference is held only in places like Harvard and Oxford and Heidelberg. Indology conference not happening in India. Indology conference happening overseas, not in India. What a joke, But now a government has decided that maybe starting next year they will have an annual Indology conference, and a lot of scholars will come and talk about it on Indian terms, which is what they should do. So we are not going to be able to change the current journalists and media, because they are too invested. They are not going to ruin their career and switch. But we might influence the next generation of people who are going to study journalism, because hopefully the next generation of people who study journalism will also be exposed to our point of view. So maybe in 5 years, 10 years, next batches come and they'll be a little more Hindu friendly.